All right, so guys, we're here with Chris Springer. We're here at the Sata booth. This is SEMA 2017 final day. So I've gotten a lot of questions about the new 5000 hood that you guys have got. What are some of the updates? What's going on with it? And tell us about this contraption that we got down here.
We're very excited to introduce this year at SEMA. This has been a long time coming. This is our Vision 5000 mask. So this is the latest invention or revision from our Vision 2000 mask. Some of the improvements or comparison to that mask is the field of view is a 220 field of view side to side. Your eyes are actually forward of the lens, so your periphery is extreme. It's a 40% increase over the Vision 2000.
Okay. That's right, because the Vision 2000 it cut off right about in there.
And the sides of where the shield cuts off is forward of your eyes.
Yeah.
Which just causes that kind of blind spot.
Okay.
Still a single lens, so the lens is still going to be no plastic behind it, so you don't get that phenomenon of two layers of plastic, which causes glare inside the booth.
Yes.
The pins, a big improvement on the pins is that they are mounted in from the backside.
Okay.
So,
cool.
As you're pulling the tear off after it builds up a little overspray, you're not getting any of those pins coming off.
I have that happen with mine.
The side adjustments are automatic now. They have a built-in spring that keeps the tension on them. The hood will lock up after you're done and you walk out of the booth and you lift your helmet.
Oh, very
it
nice.
Will stay up. There's nothing to tighten there. The color code here, as well as the color code on the top of the belt, whether you get the regulated belt or the charcoal filter belt, both of those belts and the helmets, you can change those colors out if you have multiple painters. So it's just like the guns where we'll have red, blue, green, and black. So if you have 2 or 3 painters, each one can have a unique color to their helmet.
Okay.
Speaking of the belt, we will have, if you have a 3-stage filter system in your shop where it's already got that 3rd charcoal stage to remove the hydrocarbons and oil vapor, you can go with what we're calling our regulated belt. And this belt unit doesn't have any filter inside. It's just where the air would come into it and then run up to the mask. It's nice.
Oh, hey,
it has
check
a
that
nice
out.
little built-in
Yeah.
hook, so when you're not wearing your helmet, you can hang it off your hip.
Right. And it just clips up out of the way.
Yep, and goes right up out of the way.
Now the belt itself, that's a whole brand new, it is full design.
The previous belt was just the nylon portion of it. This is more of like a weightlifter's belt almost, where it's much more comfortable when you're wearing it.
I'm about to say, I see it's got a lot more padding and support right here on the side, rather than just like if you were like what I have. I have the charcoal that just sits on my hip, and that was the only real padding that was right there.
Right. Yeah.
That's really neat. That's awesome.
Yep, that runs all the way around, and when we get into the accessories,
and there's padding in there. It feels like.
Yep.
Very cool.
But as you buy accessories, it will come with another little piece of belt that has an area to clip that you can add on and expand that system. So it's a very modular system.
Okay.
The other one is a charcoal contained belt unit.
Okay.
Is he live?
No, we're not live, but it will go up. Hi, Kristen. Hey, Mr. Tony.
Hi, it's Vegas.
Of course, you guys know Mr. Tony Larimer, Kristen Felder. And everybody is tired.
Yeah, we should have done this on the first day.
Dude, everybody would have been alive, good to go.
But that's our charcoal regulated belt. So if you only have a 2-stage system and a single painter, maybe 2 painters in the shop, where you don't want to make the investment to the filtration side, you would just buy the charcoal activated charcoal filter for your belt.
Now, just on that, just real quick.
Yep.
Because that's what I had used at the old shop that I was at. If you're going to be having the charcoal on the belt, what's the setup? What kind of filters do you need to have for the actual airlines going to it? Do you like is it oil coalescing filter?
Yeah,
and just a regular water filter?
Oil and water separator in your first stage, and then you would want a form of paper media filter on your second stage. You can actually walk around to the filter side if you'd like to take a look at those.
Sure. Just to touch on that real quick, because I know we'll get questions about it. So
this is our 3-stage, but it's nice because we have it cut away. So your first stage has a cyclone tube to spin the water out and oil and throw it out to the outer side, so it condenses on the aluminum, runs down to an automatic drain, And then on the inside is a sintered bronze filter, which also grabs more oil, and it starts that first layer of our particulate filter.
Okay.
The second stage is just taking that particulate filter to an even finer level. What classifies, or what the regulation is for breathing air, is to have an activated carbon filter.
Okay.
So that's where the option comes in. You can either add the third stage that has that in there, which removes oil vapor. That's the one thing that no filter system will remove, is oil vapor, and that's what's going to be very harmful to you.
Right.
Because it'll have the presence of the hydrocarbons.
Right. That's when you start getting into some of the after effects of the breathing air, because that's one thing that I'd ran into in the past, is that we didn't have the proper filtration.
Yep.
And oh, this is about to get loud. We hear this every morning, guys.
Will be open from 9 a.m. till 4 p.m. The show is officially open.
The cool thing is that,
And here come the runners.
yeah, and here come everybody about to start pouring in. So, but yeah, that's one of the things that I ran into in the past, in that is not having the proper filtration, and this makes me nervous having people run through here.
And what you
man.
don't realize is, or what most people don't realize, is that a screw compressor, though they're very efficient in their production of air, they are that screw portion is actually resting in a chamber of oil, and that will drive and create more oil vapor. It won't throw oil and moisture down your lines like a piston compressor will,
Right.
but there's more oil vapor present. So having that third stage is absolutely critical if you're wanting to go down that path of breathable air. Since we have that opportunity, let me pull this apart real quick.
Now this is the actual new charcoal filter, isn't it?
Yep. So
Okay.
this is the actual portion of the charcoal belt that you can replace.
Now, if you guys remember the original, the 2000 version, it was just a it would mount up from the bottom on the screw in type,
Yep.
and it was just plugged in line. They have completely gone through and redone everything.
Yep.
It's very easy access, very easy to get to.
Another nice thing is you have that awkward angle that the hose is pulling down on your belt.
Yes.
The one real nice thing, it's a little bit difficult on a mannequin, but this you can change.
And it locks into place.
Yep, there's different detents as you're going around to change the angle and position of the side so that it's very comfortable for the painter.
Okay. Now, what about we've got a red face and we've got a blue face. I'm from the South. I know what it is. Guys are going to get really interested to see this.
This really is one of the most exciting things about this helmet. Is with this, we have the option of adding on the red face is an air warmer, the blue face is an air cooler. This will the air cooler, which is the one you are most going to get excited about. This
Yes.
will lower your compressed air 61 degrees below inlet.
Now, just real quick, say that one more time, because I'm from the South. It's hot and humid.
This will lower your helmet air 60 degrees Fahrenheit cooler than the inlet air was coming in. So, I mean, we had this thing yesterday and it was literally getting below freezing.
Yeah.
Which it's nice because it's works on a venturi, so it spins out the hot air.
It literally
it can
is
be
kicking out
adjusted.
right there.
So you go from your minimum side all the way up to your maximum, and that's where when it's on maximum, it's gonna go to that 61 degrees.
You
cooler.
can feel the heat coming out of it right there.
Yep, you feel the heat coming out of here and coming out of the helmet.
Just nice cold air.
Very cold.
That is so awesome.
Yeah, I lived in Texas for 7 years, and I'm telling
so you know all
this
about
is
it.
what I needed when I was living there.
See, that's one thing I like about the fresh air hoods, is that you're getting that cool air.
Yeah.
But even so, I mean, there's always room for improvement on that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, of
it's
course.
very cool to have basically an air conditioner.
And most of us from the South won't grasp the thought of an air warmer. But let's talk about a situation where either you have a refrigerated dryer, so maybe you're coming out with 40-degree air because you have a dryer, or you're running through a desiccant system. We're a non-desiccant filter system, which is what is preferred when it comes to breathing equipment, because it leaves in maybe 5 to 10% humidity in the air, which is 100% safe and approved by all the paint companies, regardless of solvent-borne or waterborne. But what it doesn't do is it doesn't dry out your sinuses and your eyes and your throat. When you're a painter and you're in the booth, 8-10 hours a day with your mask on, pulling the trigger, it gets extremely dry. So the reason I like to bring up the air warmer is warm air is less dense. So if it's less dense, we also have the option of adding a humidifier on.
You guys are really going to get a kick out of this. This is awesome.
So we have a humidifier that we can add to that belt unit. And as I was explaining, my personal preference would be couple that with an air warmer. So you're warming up the air, it's running through the humidity, it's picking up more because it's warm, less dense air,
right,
and taking that in and making it very comfortable. This is one of those things most people don't realize they need it until they try it, and then they find out how comfortable it is.
Now tell me about this. How do you work it? What all's involved with it? Is it a disposable type deal? Is it something that you replace?
There is a filter media inside that is replaceable, and it's literally open your cap, pour in bottled water or distilled water each morning. And
is there any wait time or anything letting the filter absorb anything?
Yes. You don't want to run air to it right after adding the water. You want to let that paper media absorb the water for like maybe the first 5-10 minutes.
Okay.
Not that it'll do much damage if you have regulated air, but for those shops that maybe you're running 120 psi right to the belt,
been there.
It could fray. Yeah, it could pull the trigger on the gun and it comes back.
Yeah.
It could fray that paper a little bit. You don't want to harm the media.
Okay. Now one other thing, I want to talk about the material that this is made out of now. Yep. And the actual helmet design itself, because you guys had a lot of research and stuff in development whenever going into this. We talked about the locking part of it, but it's also been improved because it's got
inside it actually has a bump cap.
Yeah, there you go.
Which is an OSHA regulation for safety if this is going to be worn in an area where hard hat would be required.
Okay.
The material is a carbon fiber woven material, which acts as a natural anti-static, which is going to keep dust and overspray from gathering on that protective cloth, and keep it out of your paint job. Really, when you're leaning over something, you don't need anything coming off of you. So this keeps it from even sticking to you to begin with.
And it actually seems like it's it actually looks like it's just a little bit longer in the front than it was. Even with the 2000, whenever you guys had released the silver one. I had the red one, and then the silver one came out for the neck wrap.
Just cover the neck.
Yeah, this one actually
comes down on your chest quite a bit.
That's
and I'll
awesome.
tell you, when paired with the air cooler, because it is quieter. I believe, I can confirm it, but I believe it's at 62 decibels.
Oh, cool.
It is the sound of the air coming into the hood, which is a severe lower as far as sound of air from our Vision 2000s.
Right.
It has a much nicer foam dissipator that makes the air curtain go evenly across your face. And when you take this longer cover and actually tuck it in your paint suit, when coupled with the air cooler, it'll actually drive that air. Okay. Because the way the actual air works is there's more air present inside the helmet than you can breathe in a deep breath. So it's a positive air pressure respirator.
Dude, that is so cool. I think it's going to be a hit. Now, I got a couple questions that people had asked me.
Sure.
What are you guys looking at as far as releasing it? Is it going to be end of year?
We're getting our shipment in to Spring Valley week 48.
Okay.
So first week of December, we'll be getting that in. We will release and launch, of course, right before the holidays, but assume that it'll be in every point of distribution right at the first of the year.
Okay. Yeah. Now, another question I've gotten, do you guys have a list price that you can put out?
We do. Yep.
Okay.
On the what we're calling our regulated belt unit, this one is $1,089.
Okay.
That's the belt unit and the helmet, and then on the charcoal regulated side, that belt is $1,389.
Okay. Now I had a question. We were talking about the filtration just a minute ago over here. And there was a guy who brought up actually a very good question, because a lot of times, you're going into a shop, you're just assuming that they have, the stuff that you need, or we've got the stuff that's for breathable air, it's good, or you're just picking, coming in where somebody else has already been. How can you confirm that you have grade D breathable air? Is there air testing that you can have done, and where can they have it done at?
A company that I've utilized for going on 20 years now is TRI out of Texas. They are an air testing company, and I believe their website is actually airtesting.com.
Okay.
What they will do is they will send you an air quality kit, And in that kit, there's very good instructions on following it, but you basically are taking glass vials and hooking them up to your air system,
Okay.
post filters, and you put that back in the little Pelican case and ship it back to them, and they will evaluate and test that air and give you the entire breakdown if there's any. They're basically going to test it against grade B hospital grade breathable air.
Okay.
And then you will receive a certificate with your air quality breakdown.
Very cool. So that's something that they can have, for their records,
Yep.
in the office and such.
Yep,
So-
filing that away saying
Yeah.
we're actually testing our air, making sure that it's breathable for
Right.
use. Yep.
Well, dude, Chris, thank you very much, dude. That's
Absolutely.
awesome.
Thank you.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed it. It's going to be a very awesome product. I've had my hands on it. I've been checking it out. I'm a fresh air guy. It really does make a difference if you've never done it, if you've never made the investment into fresh air, to protecting yourself. It's a worthwhile investment. Going from a charcoal filter for all these years and then going to fresh air. A couple years ago that I did. It made the world a difference, just in normal everyday breathing, just the way I felt, everything.
I made that change maybe 15 years ago, and,
Yeah.
and I've used a bunch of different fresh air systems, but being on this one, it was strange. I had fresh air, I used different varieties of charcoal respirators, whether they were motorized or just your standard mask that
Right.
you would wear, the disposables. I had more energy at the end of the day when I was done working. I wasn't exhausted.
Yeah.
I didn't have that lag of feeling in the morning.
Yeah, and
I
it's-
was
it's
keeping
something-
everything from going into my body.
Yeah, and it's something that people, because you're still going to have those guys that are, oh, well, it's just a gimmick, it's no big.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that until you try it
Yeah.
and see the actual difference in it,
Yeah.
it's not a gimmick, it's not anything like that. It is a true. It makes you feel so much better.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it really does.
so Chris, I appreciate it, man. Thank you
you
very
so much. I
and
appreciate it.
we'll get this uploaded. And guys, visit Sata. Get what is it? Danam.com.
Sata USA.
Sata USA. Okay, Sata USA, and get it done, guys.